everybody. Welcome to the
Good
Latinx
morning.
in Latinx Street Food Stream. My name is Elaine Gómez. I'm one of the co-founders of Latinx in Gaming, and I am here today with.
Hello. How's it going?
So this is Chef Elaine from the AKA Hunger Service, and he's a professional chef, and I am not. So we're going to be cooking different recipes together today, and kind of just talking about what makes Latinx food delicious, and why we love cooking, and how we see cooking differently, since there's a professional perspective and a very casero perspective, which is really just learning cooking at home with grandma and mom and just family. So today I'm gonna be making reina pepiada arepas, which is a Venezuelan style arepa with stuffed with chicken and avocado. So that's what I'm gonna be making today, the masa from scratch and everything. It's really easy and really delicious. So anybody can make this, and you should be able to find all the recipes at your local grocery store. So Chef LA, what are you gonna be making today?
I'm going to be making Honduran style baleadas. So we're going to be making a tortilla with refried red beans, some cream, some cheese, avocado, and eggs.
Sounds
So I'm
amazing.
excited because I haven't had breakfast yet, and I'm ready to
Me too.
eat. So,
I'm hungry.
so what are you going to be doing to
So
start?
to start, what I'm going to be doing is showing y'all how to boil the chicken, what things you need to put in the pot. So I actually have chicken already made. So I'll show you right here. This is my boiled chicken that I already made here. Um,
Nice.
so I'm going to be shredding this with my hands because that's how we're going to be making the chicken mix. But I want to kind of show how I get to that point. So it's really simple. You're going to get a pot. This is a small, medium pot. So I'm going to be, from the recipe that I'm going to be sharing actually in chat, later on. I'm going to be doing the recipe cut in half just because it makes like about a dozen arepas and I really don't need that many. So instead, I'm going to be making, just for me and my partner. So I'm only going to be making one breast. So what you would need is one chicken breast. What I tend to do is make little cuts in the chicken breast just so that it absorbs the flavor of the waters and all the things that I'm going to put in it. So you would want to put one of these chicken breasts in here. So let's do that together.
While you're doing that, I'm going to take my refried red beans. I'm going to start heating them up in my pan
Cool.
so we can keep cooking together. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
So with the baleadas that you're making, LA, are you using tortillas store bought or are you making your own tortillas?
I am using store
Okay.
bought today, but I know they recommend using regular baleadas use um, thicker tortilla, but it is early in
Yes.
the morning, and
It's easier.
sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze. But like if you have the time to do so, freaking do it from scratch.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I'm kind of creating as simple as possible baleada today because
I think that's totally valid, and I feel like a lot of people actually would buy store bought anyway, just for ease and convenience.
yeah, just for
Yeah,
convenience sake,
right.
right?
Okay, cool. So now that I poked holes in my chicken breast, that's something that my mom taught me actually, not something that was in the recipe. But my mom just taught me to do that with big chicken breasts just because they're so thick, that sometimes it's hard for them to taste delicious just because the flavors don't get all the way in. Alrighty, so now that the chicken breast is ready, what we would need is some cilantro, which I already rinsed out with water. So you just need just a little bit, like so. So you want to put that in there, and then people say to I don't know. I use a lot of garlic. The recipe only calls for like 2 cloves of garlic, but I like to put 4. So what we're making here is kind of like a chicken stock. And you can save this chicken stock later on, for like when you make beans or when you make like arroz con gandules or something like that, something that's more savory and not white rice. you can definitely use this chicken stock that's left over so that you don't waste food. So it's okay to leave like the garlic shells like this in here just because it's a stock. It's only for flavor. What I'm doing is just slicing them in half, just so that we can get all that really delicious flavor in there.
Nice. I had a question in chat asking if this is bean paste or refried beans. This is refried beans. I actually went back and forth about making red bean from scratch, but that was also going to take way
Yeah.
too long for a stream. So we definitely we're making it as simple as possible
Right.
for today. But feel free to go as far or as quick as you'd like. But yeah. Oh. Just get this. I loosened up with a little bit of water, but feel free to use some chicken stock. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper to this, so just to give it a little more flavor.
So what I ended up doing now was just put a quarter of a white onion in here. So this is pretty much all you need when it comes to the veggies part. Now you're gonna fill this. You would fill this up with water, and you would add your seasoning. So the seasoning depends on your taste, right? I usually put adobo, salt and pepper, and a little bit of oregano. But it really depends on what you want to put in it. It's really up to taste. So fill this up with water, and then you would want to boil it for about half an hour to 40 minutes. So I'm going to put this guy to the side since I already did that.
That's an interesting point that you bring up, like it's to taste, because everyone and their mom has their own recipe,
Yeah.
right? So everyone's taste is going to be different as far as what we're doing today and what you're making and how each person individually
Right,
likes it,
exactly. So now in a bowl, I'm gonna start making my masa for the arepas. So what you need is, like it's white cornmeal, but this one's pre-cooked. They specifically said to use pan. So this is how it looks like. Should be able to find it in the Spanish section at your Google Workspace. But that's how pan looks like. So what you want to do with the arepas is actually fill up the bowl with water first and oil before you put the cornmeal in it, because then the dough kind of gets ruined if you do it backwards. So I'm gonna go grab 2.5 cups of water. I'll be right back.
Nice. Man, it is early for you, isn't
Yes,
it? Yes,
it's like seven like something in the morning, but it's okay because now what I'm making right now is like lunch and dinner for today.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna start heating up my tortilla over here. My dish isn't gonna take too long because I'm using a lot of ingredients that are already ready to go. As far as my other ingredients are concerned, I got some crema here. I'm gonna be using avocado, and I've got some cotija cheese that I'm gonna be putting into my baleadas as well.
Sounds delicious.
All of it. I mean, this is all pretty easy. Like if you can, I at one point had a hard time finding cotija cheese, but there are substitutions. I'm not gonna suggest them. I'm not sure how people will feel about them, but I managed to find my ingredients. I'm going to start heating my tortilla here, and then
That's awesome. So what about the history of your dish? Like, what are some things that you found about baleadas?
Here, like actually, where did I put it? I pulled it up because a few things I learned was that I didn't know about that, like, let's see here, that it originated from the northern coast of
Okay.
Honduras, and I was like, well, I wanted to do a double check about this, but they said named after the visual similarities between beans and
Beans
bullets.
and bullets? I mean, yeah, baleadas.
Yeah, so
like bala means bullet in Spanish, so that makes sense.
The anecdotal version of that is, the story is that a tortilla making woman was shot with several bullets, and recovered and continued to make tortillas.
Oh wow.
And that's what they say that's what he started calling her.
That's hardcore.
Baleada. I was like, huh, that's badass.
That is really badass.
You know, like,
that's crazy.
and I was like, but that was like part of the story from what I heard about Baleada. So I was like, that's really
that is super interesting.
Like the the kind of beginnings of it. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I had no clue that. Why are these stories so dramatic? I don't know, Jet Set. I don't know why the stories are so dramatic, but I guess that's the selling point, right?
Yeah. See, the history of the Reina Pepiada arepas is not as hardcore. So what I read was that the Reina Pepiada arepa was named after the very first Miss Universe Venezuela. And apparently beauty pageants are like a really big deal in Venezuela. And they have won the most beauty pageant awards in the world or something like that. So this recipe was named after her. And Reina Pepiada actually means like curvaceous woman, like curvy woman. And that was named after her because she was very, very voluptuous. Yeah. So that's what this was named after. It was an arepa shop called an arepera, called Alvarez Brothers, and they were the ones who came up with the recipe for this. And now it's a really popular street arepa that you can really get anywhere in Venezuela. And what's really cool about Venezuelan arepa specifically is that they use all kinds of filling. Like they use chicken, eggs, and like beans, cheese, meat, versus like Colombian arepas, which are usually only like eggs or cheese or beans, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty interesting how the arepa is different in two different countries, even though they are both indigenously rooted foods from like the pre-Columbian era.
Is there ever like a dispute as to who created it?
Well,
like who created the?
Well, from what I researched, it originated in Colombia. Yes, okay. So apparently that's the country of origin, and then kind of all different countries adapted it into like their own things, which is pretty cool because you see that all the time, all over the place. We have very similar foods all across Latin America, but we do have our differences. Mm-hmm. Okay.
For sure.
So this is what I did here. Here's my masa for the arepa. It was literally just the white cornmeal and a little bit of salt and olive oil. So this is ready. So it kind of feels like really fluffy when you move it around. And that's what it is. So this is pretty much ready to be cooked. So what you would do with the masa is get a bowl and like the size of your palm. Like, let's see if I can get it together.
That's so cool.
So
I'm terrible with those. So watching you do this, I'm like, this is magic.
So this is how it would look like if you would shape it however big you want it. What you would do, you set it aside in like parchment paper or like plastic wrap, and then when you're ready to cook it, then you would pan sear it so you get a nice like golden brown on each side, and then you pop them in the oven for like 10 minutes so they poof up a little bit, and then you get to stuff them in like really warm, in the warm bread type of thing. So I'm just gonna make a few of these so that I can show you how to pan sear them.
What time zone is LA in? Wait, are you talking about the city or are you talking about me?
I'm gonna make 2 of them.
Me? Oh, I'm on the East Coast. I am
cool. Florida man.
The name definitely throws people off, but I'm in Florida. Yeah, I am Florida man.
Okay.
You're
There you
welcome.
go. So, Elaine, I know
Alright,
that
no, that's
one
better off.
one of the things that we were talking about as we were prepping for this was like what makes like Latin American food so tasty. Like as a
Mm-hmm.
professional chef, like what is like your inkling as to what makes our food like really savory and delicious?
Oh my gosh, like the array of spices and like the use of citrus and just like really like hearty like flavors and beans and cheeses. I'm just like, all of it just put together, just it makes my heart sing
It's
and my
just a
stomach really
flavor
hungry right
bomb.
now because I'm still hungry. Yeah, the flavors, the sets of spices and herbs that are used.
It's really interesting, right? Because in like Latin American culture, like for example in Mexico, you have like ingredients that you don't often see put together, like in mole,
Mm-hmm.
which has like
Oh
cacao
yeah.
and chicken. Like you wouldn't think that those two things would go together, but it's delicious.
Oh yeah. Mole, man. I'm still on the hunt for a really
Good mole.
solid
Yeah.
mole.
You have to come to LA, yo. That's where we got like the Mexican markets.
I know. I gotta fly over whenever that's a
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
you
Yeah,
know.
when it's safe to do so. But definitely, I've had some delicious mole here in Los Angeles. And take some of these skins off that I got in here. So right now, what I'm doing is cutting up some onion for the chicken mixture that I'm going to put together.
Nice.
So I want to do this really quickly as my pan heats up. In fact, I need to heat up the pan.
Yeah.
Let me cut these guys. So I know this is not like professional like dicing onions because I don't know how to do that. So I just, however my mom taught me is how I cook.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So this is what I was saying before, like my methods are very casero, very homey, because I was not professionally trained. Like Chef Elaine here, who was a professional sushi chef for how long again?
I was a sushi chef for
That
10
is
years
a
actually,
long
so
time.
been at it for a long time. Um, yeah, so that's my culinary background. But like since then, I've been cooking a lot of everything because I'm actually I started doing photography outside of that. So, but I still very much cook everything now. It's just like one of those things where I like wanted to learn how to cook everything. So that's why
That's
I'm
cool.
on the hunger service because
You're hungry all the time.
figure out. No, well, the whole story is I'm the hunger service because I deliver hunger.
Oh, you
I don't
deliver
deliver the
hunger.
food.
Oh,
So,
that's clever.
oh my gosh. But yeah.
Let me see if I can connect.
I was gonna ask.
You can ask me something.
Yeah. So once this goes in the pan, you said you're gonna sear it and then you're gonna throw it into the oven
For
for how long?
about 10 minutes. It's
10
usually
minutes.
until
Okay.
it puffs up a little bit because what you want to do with the arepas
Mm-hmm.
is like you want to open it up and poof it up a little bit, like kind of like a pita bread, like a stuffed pita. And that's where you put the
Yeah.
filling inside. So that's why you want it to poof up just a little bit, so it's easier to like go in with your knife and open it up. So I'm trying to plug this thing in. It's kind of too short, so I'm gonna have to move my cutting board to the side. So what's cool about arepas too is that you can make them in advance and pop them in the fridge, and you can keep it in there for a few days, which is really neat. Because that way you can just make arepas on demand. You don't have to make the masa from scratch each time.
Yeah, that's why I hear my friend whenever my friend goes over to his place, his mom always has arepas ready. Do you want some arepa? just all ready in the fridge.
So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put just a small saucepan with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to wait to heat it up, and then we'll sear the arepas. So let's make the shredded mixture. Let me find a bigger bowl because I used the really big one for the masa over here. So I'm also going to move this little like portable stove over a little bit so that I could at least show the bowl.
Okay, I'm just gonna start cutting up my avocado.
Oh, nice! Mine has avocado too.
I swear, I blow people's minds with how to cut avocados every time I do this.
I definitely want to see. I am attentive.
Whenever you get to this part of the avocado, everyone likes to like jab at the pit.
Yeah.
But I always tell them to turn it over and just slide your knife around the pit again, so that you can just twist off and then pull the pit out.
Oh, that's exactly what I do.
Instead of jabbing yourself or potentially slicing through it.
That's exactly what I do.
But safety tip for avocados.
That is an awesome tip. Because I thought I was like the only one that cut them. Like I was like, why do people always try to like take the pit by like jabbing it with a knife and just like a machete? Like, nah, like that's dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, that's a thing. That's apparently a thing in ERs. Now.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Avocado hand is
scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
No, I'm very careful with knives. I don't want to get hurt. Oh. Okay, so here's the chicken mixture that I'm making for the inside of the arepa. So I cut up just a little bit of red onion. You can actually put as much as you want. I'm not a huge fan of raw onion in anything, so that's why I didn't put as much. So I would say I did maybe like a quarter, if that, of diced onions. But if you really like onions, you can put a little bit more. So that's what I did, and now I'm taking my cilantro, and I'm just gonna chop that up, not finely, but just enough so that you're not getting big leafy chunks of cilantro in your mouth. And I know some people hate cilantro. Apparently, there's a gene or something that makes you taste like. Apparently, cilantro will taste like soap or something like that. So, I'm so happy that I don't have that. Because it really is so delicious. It makes food, like, taste so good.
Oh, yeah. As far as from what I've understood as far as cilantro is concerned, if you have a cilantro, a disposition against cilantro, you can potentially substitute it with parsley. But it's definitely not the same taste experience. But at least you get
some flavor.
Some flavor in there.
That's interesting. I never actually heard of parsley being a substitute for cilantro.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, is because like people that are averse to cilantro, sometimes coriander powder is still okay, but just the leafy part of cilantro is
what kills people.
Yeah.
That stinks. Because actually, to me, the strong flavor is in the stem. So that's why I avoid like cutting up the stem and putting that stuff in my food, because that's really strong flavors.
One thing, by the way, side note, when I was learning about baleadas, it could be either scrambled or sunny side up eggs in baleadas. So I'm going to be just making a bunch of scrambled because, I mean, I could do both. I could do variations. So maybe I'll do both. We'll just do both. You know.
So I'm going to do the exact same thing you did here with my avocado. So I cut my avocado the same way that you do. Yes.
Yeah.
So I do that, cut it in half, and then with the pit, I also just cut that side in half so that I don't hurt myself.
Yes.
And then you just remove the pit, and then you're done. Yay. It's really simple.
All right.
Have you seen LA, the big avocados that come from like Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic? And they're super buttery.
They're like, yeah, they're like creamy. It's like, it's interesting because in my dad makes this like kind of avocado pudding out of those in particular. Those are better for
Ooh.
that versus like
So what is
using
avocado
those in like
pudding?
uh
Is it a sweet or
I forgot
savory
exactly
dish?
how it's a sweet.
Really?
I forgot exactly the name. But it's a Filipino avocado dessert with like condensed milk.
Oh, that sounds
Um,
delicious.
and yeah, it's really tasty. But like that's the avocado that they would typically use for that.
Okay.
I mean, do you like those avocados better?
Absolutely. When I moved here to the US and I saw how tiny the avocados were, I was like, what is going on? Like, do they just not get good harvests? And then it was just explained to me that it's Hass avocado is just a different type of avocado. And that's the only avocado I can really find here in the States. I don't usually find the big ones.
I find the big one. You can find the big ones here in Florida pretty
Oh,
readily.
well, you're lucky. Because here in California, I definitely don't see it. And when I lived in Phoenix, I didn't really see them either. Okay.
Yeah, they're just not as popular as the Hass variety because the Hassi that's used in
Oh, yeah.
everything.
But they definitely taste different. Okay.
Oh yeah, they definitely have different flavor.
So my stovetop is not quite hot enough yet for me to... Actually, maybe. So that's a trick that I'm going to teach you guys. Like, you can check how hot the pan is just by rinsing your hands with water and kind of like sprinkling it to see if it sizzles. That's something that my mom taught me as well. Okay, let me move this guy over so I can see. Okay, I'm gonna cook one arepa. Okay.
Get my eggs out of my pan here. There'll be two varieties at least of baleadas today. Because I was reading about all the random varieties of baleadas. I'm sure there's like a ton of varieties of ways you can
Oh
prepare
yeah,
arepa, right?
definitely. And I'm sure you can make like fusion style, so like you can kind of come up with your own like filling recipe if you wanted to. Alrighty, so let's see. So now that that's making, I'm gonna finish out the chicken mixture. I'm just gonna shred the chicken with my hands. So make sure that your hands are clean, because that would be gross. I see you people that go to the bathroom and don't wash your hands. Nasties. Okay. So here we are.
Alright, I'm gonna do a quick scramble on these real quick.
So,
Scramble in the pan.
oh.
I'm not gonna use extra bowls.
Oh man, you're gonna have a delicious breakfast.
Yeah.
This is definitely lunch. Like, I'm not about to eat this right now. It's too early. So for this, there's two ways that you can shred chicken. You can use two forks and kind of like try to separate them out. But to me, I feel like I can get like a finer shred with my hands. I feel like it gets kind of chunky when you do it with forks. Oh, also something that I learned, that chicken breast gets cooked at like 175 degrees. So if you have a little thermometer and you can kind of gauge what the temperature of the chicken is, you can really prevent it from overcooking and getting like really gummy or really hard. Overcooked chicken just sucks on anything. That's something that I learned like fairly recently. Like having a thermometer for cooking
Oh
changed
yeah.
my life.
Oh yeah. One of the first things I tell people to get, one of the most important things to get in the kitchen.
For sure.
Get a pro thermometer because being able to time that stuff, because dry chicken
It
is the
really
worst.
is.
Like, doesn't matter how much water you drink.
Yeah, seriously.
it's just
Yes,
chalk.
exactly. And actually, I found that chicken breast is like really freaking hard to cook. Like it's not easy.
Yeah, I don't prefer chicken breast. Like I do like
the fattiness of the thighs.
Yeah, chicken thigh is better.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, it adds so much more flavor to the food that you make. It's just, like chicken breast is leaner and blah, blah, blah. It's like you're supposed to make you feel better about yourself when you're eating food.
You have to, like, with chicken breast especially, you have to be very careful.
Yes.
So having a probe thermometer for chicken breast,
A
A
plus.
plus. Jetset's asking, what is a sous vide? Sous vide is a method of cooking using a water circulator that keeps water at a specific temperature. Sous vide literally means under vacuum because you put whatever you're cooking into a vacuum bag or a plastic bag, so that's separated from the water, and you dunk it in said water. So imagine you're cooking a steak and you want it to get to medium rare. You set the temperature of water to medium rare, which is between, like, say 135, 140, and then you cook the steak all the way to that point. You take it out of the bag, then you sear it the rest of the way, so you get this nice sear on the edge, and then like nice block of nothing but medium rare.
I have heard
inside.
sous vide steak is amazing. I've never tried it.
It's great. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. All right, I'm gonna start
Your
preparing
baleadas?
my
Nice.
stuff here. Yep, got my tortillas that were I kind of heated up, and I put in underneath a moist paper towel. I'm gonna go ahead and start spreading my red bean here.
I'm finishing up shredding this chicken breast here so that I can finish my meal.
Nice.
I just want to make sure that I get all the chunky boys.
It's just so much easier to shred with
Oh,
your
yeah.
hands. I mean, as long as it's not like silly.
Oh,
hot.
yeah, no. Like, for sure, when you finish cooking this off at home, like when you do it, definitely wait until the chicken cools down. Don't do it hot because that's not fun. Luckily for me, this was already set. I had already cooked it earlier.
All right, we're gonna hit this with the
Cotija
cotija cheese right now.
I love cotija cheese.
Love cotija cheese. Yeah.
I prefer that like my tacos and stuff than regular shredded cheese because I know, like, I watched this video about the differences between like real authentic Mexican and Tex-Mex. And they were talking about the cheeses is like one of the big ingredients that are so different.
Cotija cheese it's so nice. Love using it.
I think we're done here.
All right, we got some crema. This is kind of almost like a sour cream. Like, you can substitute with sour cream, but like if you can get crema, it's one of those things with these dishes, right? Like, if you can find the proper ingredients to do it, then do it. But if you have to substitute, it's like to get the experience of it. It's not going to be fully authentic, but like at the same time, like, it's hard to find certain ingredients in certain parts of the country or in wherever you might
100%,
be. Right?
yeah. We're lucky that, like, in the area that I am at, there's like plenty of Latinx and Hispanic community, so I can find a lot of these ingredients without a problem.
Same here. But I know that's not the
Right,
case everywhere
exactly.
for sure, because even as a my background in cooking is Pan Asian. A lot of the ingredients that I use, it's hard to find some of them in say, like, it's easy to find them here because we have a large Asian community here, but like otherwise, like, they're like, yeah, I can't find chili oil in my area. I'm like, what do you mean you can't find chili oil? But that's the same thing with
nice.
ingredients. For
You
sure.
see that nice little brown sear that I got on my arepa? Yeah, that's what you want. It's kind of like crusty. That's what you want. Okay. So right now I'm preparing the final touches of the mix. It's really kind of like chicken salad. I put a little bit of Tabasco in here. That's what the recipe said. I think the recipe that I'm following is very much like a fusion style. It's not like an authentic style of arepa. Just because it has like things like the Worcestershire sauce that I can never pronounce. Worcestershire.
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 I can never pronounce
One of
that.
those words in cooking that like no, you can't. You just don't know until someone you look it up or
Yeah.
someone corrects you.
Oh man. Oh, let me get the lime. So this recipe does call for a juice of limes.
Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
Yeah, I can't find the lime, so I might just use a lemon.
I keep cutting that ahead of time.
Alright, that's fine. And I guess I don't.
Nope. I keep going back and forth about the order of ingredients for this.
Oh yeah.
Like, which way do I want this to go?
Oh, so one of the things that I learned recently too is rolling your lemons and limes so that you can get the juices out.
Oh yeah.
It's like one of those things like after watching Binging with Babish and all of those shows on YouTube so much during quarantine.
Right. Right? I mean, there's plenty of time to cook.
Yeah,
nowadays,
absolutely.
Right? Not everyone wants to go out.
Let's see if we can.
Put this.
Some of this. So I think I'm good. I'll put my Worcester, my Tabasco.
Maybe a couple more.
Okay, and then it's a little bit of salt to taste. So I'm just gonna grab my salt shaker just to taste it. And then if I need to put more, I'll put more. So now it's time to fold this mixture. I might have not put enough mayo. I think I need more mayo to make it more tasty. Yeah.
Alright.
At least I don't want to burn the other side of the other. Okay, perfect. So this is how I'm gonna keep it, just because the other side is nice and brown. This I would pop into the oven, so I'm just gonna pop it just for a few minutes. It's already cooked, but I'm just trying to get that little poofiness.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Got it.
We have.
Oh.
So I'm actually almost done. We're just gonna wait until the arepas cook out.
Alright. Get my tortilla on there. Get my crema. I'm gonna get my scrambled eggs. I feel like I should have made more scrambled eggs. Whatever.
It's just for you anyway.
Right.
Chicken.
Alright.
We got the chicken overboard. Okay. So let me see. So it calls for 3/4 of a cup of mayo. So I think I only put about half a cup. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more.
Gotcha.
See, this is one of the things that Chef Elaine and I were talking about too. Is like eyeballing it versus actually measuring it.
Yeah, you measure until your ancestors.
Oh my gosh.
Oopsies.
So,
I dropped my tongs
I'm
over
going
here.
to try this.
My egg is
no,
bleeding right now.
Okay, let me taste this to see how good it smells. It's so good.
I'm gonna make a couple more eggs because I have time apparently. So we're gonna do a couple more eggs here just because.
So I finished my chicken mixture. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit of adobo just because I'm Puerto Rican.
And that's the joy of cooking at home, though. Right?
Yes.
You can improvise and do
Yes.
different things, right? And whatever tastes good. I'm actually probably gonna add a little bit of my own flair to these because I would want a little bit of spiciness. So I'm adding some togarashi, which is a Japanese mixed spice.
That's
for
fancy.
my own taste.
Okay. There we go. There's my chicken mix. So pretty much this is done. And now I'm just gonna wait for my arepas to poof up a little bit. And what this calls for, this recipe, is that you shred Oaxaca cheese to put it on top. So let me pull out my Oaxaca cheese.
See, you're struggling with Worcestershire. I still struggle with
Oaxaca. So this is Oaxaca cheese right here. Let me put up the camera. So it really is like kind of like string cheese. It really is string cheese, in a little ball, and it tastes really really good with the arepas. So I actually had some already in a little baggie because I've made arepas before. So I've been eating at this ball of Oaxaca cheese for a while. So what we will want to do is just undo some of the ball so that we can get nice long strips, and then we cut it there and then pull it apart like literally like string cheese, and then we just want to take a few shreds of that so that we can put it on the arepa when it's ready. Now I'm hungry, even though it's like this is lunch food. I'm still gonna take a bite. Screw it.
breakfast.
Let's go. That's fine. I'll have lunch for breakfast.
Yeah,
It's brunch, exactly.
Brunch, quote unquote brunch. Even though it's yeah, you just got an early start to the
Yeah,
day.
exactly that. Okay, so I got my pieces of, let's see, I'll show you the Oaxaca cheese. I'll kind of shred it up a little bit. So this is what I'm going to be putting in my arepa. Okay, get my plate. We got just a few seconds on the arepa poofing up. It's about to ring. One timer. Let's give it a few more minutes. Alrighty. Are your baleadas all done, LA?
Almost. Well, I mean, as I
That's
fold them, yes.
Let's see. Oh, this is hot.
Let me put this on my serving board. You ever heard of there's this whole thing about we want plates.
We want plates?
Yeah, it's like this when you serve dishes on something that's not a
plate.
Oh. So I've got my little fake cutting board that I'm serving my baleadas on. Oh, my camera just froze.
Okay.
Give me a second. Uh-oh. There we are. Yes, I see chat. My name is LA, but I'm not in LA. So this LA is on the East Coast, okay?
That's so funny. Did anybody have any questions about the food that we were making? Because I totally didn't read the chat while I was making all this stuff.
It's okay. Ooh, there we go. But yeah, here are my baleadas. Let me get. I'll get an actual picture of it.
I don't know if my plating is gonna look so good. Yeah, this is why I am doing home cooking, and I'm not a professional chef for 10 years.
Share the well, I wish I could, but I'm ready to eat.
It's so funny because the production team was all like, "So are you guys gonna have a cook-off?" And I was like, "Oh no," because I know that I would lose. We're not having a cook-off. We're just cooking together and talking.
I asked earlier. Jet Set asked earlier, what is your go-to dish when you want to impress somebody?
Ooh.
I don't know if that's for both of us or I'm gonna leave it to
Oh
you first.
man.
There you go.
To impress somebody, I think that if I wanted to impress somebody, I would cook a really delicious lasagna. Yes.
Oh,
And in Puerto
nice.
Rico, we like I would never knew about ricotta cheese until I moved here, but I don't like the texture of ricotta. So I actually use like
Mm-hmm.
mozzarella, parmesan, and all those types of cheeses when I make my lasagna and not ricotta.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends and family love it because they don't like ricotta either.
I mean, if you don't treat ricotta like ricotta, it can have. If you don't do anything to it, it definitely just has like a
Right.
weird taste. But I mean, I love ricotta though because I like messing
All
with
right.
it in
There's
general.
my edit.
As far as my dish,
Oh, no,
go
no.
ahead,
I
sorry.
was going to say that my edit was ready. I took it out of the oven.
Yeah, that's more important than what I'm gonna say.
Oh, go ahead, though.
My go-to dish when I want to impress somebody. I don't know. Sometimes I like. It really depends on their taste, but like I have like three in mind because either I go back to making sushi. There's this crispy pan fried salmon that I like making and putting on top of like
Ooh.
crushed potatoes and roasted tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
And then if that doesn't work, I've got a go-to pasta dish that I like.
Oh, so you
making.
like making Italian too
It's
for
like
to impress somebody.
yeah. I kind of I can figure out something.
I think it would depend also on like who I'm trying to impress. Because if I know that
Right,
that they
exactly.
like meat, for example, I would try to go all out with like a nice steak or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
But yeah,
What about you, Jet
yeah. What
Set?
about you?
What's your go-to, Jet Set?
I would love to hear that.
I'm about to dive in on this. Do you see this?
No, it's not fair. I'm not ready yet. I need to stuff my other box.
Okay.
Actually, I might just use my hand. Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna dive in. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Dive in. Let me know how it is. Did it come out delicious? Or
Wow.
good morning.
Good morning.
So let me finish cracking this guy up. All right. So here's the arepa, and let's put the cheese on top. Just in there. And that would be it. Not as plated as nicely as LA, but there it is.
The plating is nice, but as long as it tastes delicious,
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I guess I will kind of like move it on the camera so you can see the delicious homemade arepa masa with Oaxaca cheese in there. Nice avocado chicken. Let's see how it tastes, actually. I don't know if it's going to be good, but we will try. The arepa was hot while I was handling it, putting the chicken on top. That's so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Want to trade? I'll send this
Right?
over.
You can have it. I think that my earring fell off. It looks like hanging on my shirt.
I'm destroying this.
It's so good. Arepa's are a little bit messy, but it doesn't matter.
Messy food's always good food, right?
Especially when you wake up early in the morning. When you're hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Silker said, Jessa said y'all deserve it. Great show. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it, and I hope that you make these recipes because they're really easy to make, and like you saw, we made it in less than an hour.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, you can. I was taking my sweet time here.
Yes.
You can definitely make this in like 10, 15 minutes in the morning if you want to, or whenever during the day.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Same thing with arepas. I mean, sure, what takes the longest it's boiling that chicken, which is why I did it off camera because it's just a waiting game, right? Like you just wait for it to finish cooking,
Oh.
but the actual assembling and making the masa and everything is really is it doesn't take that long.
Yeah, turned out.
Mm.
Ooh. Yeah. How's yours?
It's so good. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can really taste like all the ingredients separately, like the citrus and the avocado, a little bit of mayonnaise, all the seasonings that I put in with the onion and everything, and the cheese really
Yeah.
brings everything together really well. But I love it.
Ooh.
Any questions? I know we have just like a few minutes left.
Yeah, we've got like 4 minutes left. So if you have any questions for
Mm-hmm.
both of us, by all means, please. All right, there we go. Oh, what? Actually, what's on the schedule for the rest of the day for today as far as the stream is
Let's see
concerned?
actually. So up next is
Oh,
thank you.
That's it. There it is.
I think there's nicotine is gonna play like a flight simulator, right? That's what I think is nice.
Oh, nice.
I'm excited to announce the rest of the game jam winners later today.
Oh yeah. Leslie is asking, what are your favorite dishes to both of us?
Like to eat? Favorite dishes to eat or favorite dishes to cook?
We'll just say yes.
To eat, let me tell you, like I love a good pizza.
Oh.
And homemade
Oh, yeah, it was Korean
pizzas,
pizza.
oof, so good.
All right. I can't answer that question. There's too many. It just depends on the day,
Same.
really.
Tell us a little about where yourselves and where to find you. Oh, so on Twitter, I'm Chulatastic, so it's right. The handle is right there on my overlay. And I'm a co-founder at Latinx and Gaming, but professionally, I'm a game designer at an indie studio called Elaine Media. So that's what I do. That's what I do Monday through Friday. I design games for a living, which is pretty dope. What about you, Elaine?
That's awesome. Hi, yeah, I'm the Hunger Service on Twitch. I have been cooking here on Twitch for the last 3 years and 7 months now.
Wow.
But yeah, I cook simple and delicious food live on my channel 4 days a week. So stop on by. I cook a bunch of Latin food. I cook a lot of Asian food. I say my specialty is Pan Asian, but I do cook everything on my channel. So stop on by, say hello, tell me you saw me through here. That's cool. And then you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is the Hunger Service, and then Twitter, because apparently they have a character limit, it's Hunger_Service. So catch me on all those.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
We got like 30 seconds left, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed
Yes.
today. If you have any questions for us, I mean, you can catch us
Yes,
on our
you
social
can.
media. But Elaine.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. We really appreciate your time this early in the morning, and we hope that you try all the dishes that we tried on the show. So if you do, like, just tweet us or something at us on Twitter. We would love to see if you guys make these recipes, and we hope you enjoy the rest of Unidos. Bye.
Bye.